Hey guys, it's Lucas Gaylord, and today we have the Magic Ruler format. Now this is a very underexplored format because people from, for example, Format Library, they jump from Critter straight to Android, which skips Magic Ruler, Pharaoh Servant, Labyrinth of Nightmare, all the way into the starter deck Pegasus and Joey. So because of that, on Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy, we have a ranked channel for Magic Ruler, and this way we do explore this format a little bit better. So yeah, so let's get started. So as you can see, I win the rock paper scissors. I go first, and as you can see, Solemn Judgment is a card that still might see play. It didn't see play back then, but people with the knowledge from the future, when they go back to an older format, they know that Solemn Judgment might be worth playing. So yeah. So I go first. I activate an Upstart Goblin, and I draw into a Forceful Sentry. And as you can see, this format is full of these power spells that can destroy or get rid of cards from your opponent's hands. So these are the hand destruction spells. So yeah, I activate Forceful Sentry, and I will show the hand. And so at this point, I'm asking Terramaster to banish the cards so that we can see them, but I forgot to do it afterwards, so I will keep showing both players' hands whenever I activate a Forceful Sentry. So as you can see, I return Sangan to the deck, and my reasoning was, right now I'm not worried about his Forceful Sentry because I'm going to be setting my Solemn Judgment plus one monster, and Trap Hole, I can probably play around Trap Hole. I know he has Trap Hole, so yeah, and Fissure is not a card that worries me. However, Sangan might be a problem because Sangan can search into potentially a lot of monsters, including Magician of Faith, and I didn't want to deal with that, so I just let him return Sangan. As for Forceful Sentry, I don't mind losing whatever card I will leave in my hand, so I was okay with that. My Man-Eater bug can deal with his Mechanical Chaser, and I know he doesn't have Heavy Storm because I looked at his hand. So yeah, I just said 3 and pass. I should stop showing his hand. But yeah. So he activates the Forceful Sentry and returns my Raigeki. And at that point, my mindset was, if I lose Raigeki back to the deck, that's fine because I have Raigeki way too early, and if I want to get value out of Raigeki, I should make a plus at least. But if he knows I have Raigeki, then it's going to be more difficult. So I just decided to let him return Raigeki. So he summons Mechanical Chaser, and at this point, this is the highest beater, level 4 beater, that has no drawback. But it was a very expensive card because it was only available in the tournament pack. So whoever had 3, it was rich. But thankfully, since we're playing an online platform, then we're not bound by money. But yeah, he attacks into Man-Eater bug, loses the Mechanical Chaser, and then sets what I'm almost sure it's a Trap Hole. So I summon Mechanical Chaser, he activates the Trap Hole. So it would have been either a Trap Hole or a Fissure, so my Mechanical Chaser was going to be dead anyways. Then I set a Trap Hole. So let's see what he does. He sets a monster and sets one back row, and that's it. And I draw into Confiscation, and I decided to activate it. So I discard his Fisher. Now I know he doesn't have Fisher anymore, unless he draws into another. But yeah, he summons Giant Germ, and this card is really interesting in this format because not only is the burn relevant at times, but it just floats and into 2 monsters, and so it's a really annoying card that I don't want to deal with. So I just use Trap Hole, and he flips into Morphing Jar, interestingly. And Morphing Jar is another one of these tournament pack expensive cards, and I don't want him to draw 5, even though we're even in card advantage. If he draws into hand destruction spells, I don't want to have to deal with that. So I just use Sullen Judgment. So right now I'm ahead by 1 card, and I draw into my 3rd Sullen Judgment, interestingly. So I'm very low on life points. So I'm praying he doesn't draw into more monsters. And I draw into Sangan, which is good because now I can be offensive. And if I lose the Sangan, I can search into a lot of things. But yeah, I draw into Mystic Tomato, and this card is from Magic Ruler, and it's very interesting because Sangan is at 2, Witch is at 2, and Tomato is at 3, and all of these cards, they create an engine that will let you search for any monster that you need, because Tomato searches Sangan or special summon Sangan or Witch, and then when they die, they float into any monster with certain attack or defense. But yeah, I summon Tomato, not worrying about overcommitting, because I don't think he has something to overcommit to punish me for overcommitting. And I do have 2 Sullen Judgments. But let's see what he does. He sets a monster. Alright, so I attack with Tomato, and it's a Cyber Jar.
Your attack is activated. The power
So
of my Cyber Jar.
So yeah, let's see what we get. So he gets really good cards here, like two board wipes. I don't think he's going to activate Heavy Storm this early because he has 3 back row cards, so it's not going to be good for him. But he does have Pot of Greed and Magician of Faith, which is going to be very dangerous. And Dark Hole, of course. And in my case, I have Jiraigumo, which is going to be the strongest board presence, even though he has Dark Hole. But I do also get Delinquent Duo and Magician of Faith, so I also get some decent cards. Just not the Pot of Greed like he did, but it's fine. But yeah. So he special summons Magician of Faith and Sangan. I get the Jiraigumo. And at this point I want to attack Magician of Faith, because if he activates Pot of Greed and then he sets Magician of Faith, that's going to be really bad for me, because I don't want him to recycle Pot of Greed. So I just ask him, where's the Magician of Faith? So I attack. I flip a coin. I actually call it tails, so I don't lose any life points. So he only has Fisher and Forceful Sentry as a target, so he picks Fisher. And then let's see what I discard with Delinquent Duo. Alright, so I was very lucky that I could discard a Pot of Greed. And then he discards the Fisher. But yeah, that was very lucky. And now he's Painful Choice. So at this point, I don't mind sending someone's Skull to the graveyard. That's one of the best cards to dump with Painful Choice. I also picked 2 tomatoes because I don't think I'm going to need those. 1 Trap Hole, and then Change of Heart, because I really don't think I'm going to be using Change of Heart anytime soon. And worst case scenario, I can recycle it with Magician of Faith. But yeah, let's see. He should pick the Summon Skull. So yeah, he picks the Summon Skull. And then I just end my turn. He uses Delinquent Duo. And he discards the Summon Skull, so that's very lucky for me, because that was a dead card. Then I discard my Heavy Storm because I'm not going to use it. And he activates Dark Hole, and I have to do Sullen Judgment. I can't let my board presence die, especially because I have a Magician of Faith. So I'm very low on life points. And he activates MSD, and now I lose my other Sullen Judgment. So now I'm worried, because he's ahead in card advantage, and I lost all my negations, and I have very few life points. And he top decked into Raigeki, so I lose my monsters. But luckily he didn't have any other monster to summon. But I'm very low on life points. So yeah, I set Giant Solar Stone because I know no monster can beat over it, unless he plays Jiraigumo as well. So yeah, he attacks, loses 1000, but he has a Fissure. So at this point I just have to keep setting and surviving because I'm very low on life points. And Heavy Storm for Heavy Storm, which is fair. And now I'm sitting on the Witch of the Black Forest. He sets a monster, and I just set another monster, another Sangan. And at this point I was like, I was feeling confident because I was protecting my life points, and if something happens to my floaters I get to keep adding and searching. So it was really fine for me, but he had Magician of Faith. So he recycles Raigeki, and that's going to be game. So yeah, a lot of these games are going to be luck based on who draws the best spells first. But still, it's a very fun format, because it's like playing all these power spells, but at the same time, like, the card pool is still primitive in terms of monsters. So yeah, I set a tomato and a trap hole. I noticed that I did draw into big cards, except for the Summon Skull, which is, it's a big monster, but it's not going to help me a lot. He activates Delinquent Duel. Let's see what he discards. Again, he discards the Summon Skull. And then I decided to discard Dark Hole because I'm thinking I have Raigeki, I don't need 2 board wipes, and I probably do need the Snatch Steal. So yeah, he starts setting, and then I just go aggressive. And again, I was very premature in in not waiting for an activation. So yeah, I eat a trap hole, and that's it. And he summons a Sangan, beats for 1k, and that's fine for me. I draw into Mechanical Chaser, which is very good because now I have the strongest board presence. But he can search for anything. So he searches for Witch. Alright, that's fair. So he draws Spot of Greed, and that's going to be very good for him. And he draws into Fissure. Okay. He summons Germ, and I think I might want to use Trap Hole. maybe. No, I didn't use Cardpool, which only means that I plan to use Raigeki. Yep. I use Raigeki, I get my +1, and then I just end my turn because I have no board presence right now. He draws into another germ, and then I just want to use Cardpool to get rid of it, because I don't know when I'm going to draw my next board presence. He activates Chain Energy, and this is his spice for Magic Ruler, because in this format there are stall decks that are very hard to beat, especially if you play Solemn Judgments. So Chain Energy is very dangerous, and it does make for a good stall deck. So I see that now he's going more stall, but thankfully I had Heavy Storm, so I don't have to deal with that. And then I just go aggressive with Giant Soldier, not worrying if he has a bigger monster, because if he does, I'll just take it with Smash Steel. But it might have been a bad play, but whatever. So I used Change of Heart, and it was a tomato. So I thought it was a flip monster, because if he had tomato, he should have attacked the Giant Soldier, and he didn't. So maybe it was a bad play, but it still baited my Change of Heart. So yeah, I attacked with both. I put Giant Soldier into defense mode, and right now I just pray that he doesn't have Raigeki. And he's very ahead of me in terms of card advantage. So he does his Change of Heart, uses my Man-Eater Bug, and now I'm very behind. And now he activates Toll, and Toll is another one of these stall cards, stall burn cards. So now I should be wary when attacking. But yeah, I just go defensive, and if he wants to attack me, because now he has a stronger board presence, but if he goes attacking, he will keep losing life points, and that's not going to be good for him. So yeah, at this point we're just passing turns, and White Magical Hat is really decent in this format, same as Critter, because like discarding is always good. But yeah, so at this point we're just playing monsters and see who has the most monsters on the field, and whoever draws Raigeki first is going to be very happy. I activate Confiscation, even though I'm low on life points. I still activate Confiscation, and as you can see, he has Monster Reborn and Morphing Jar. So I didn't want him to regenerate board presence, especially because there's a Summon Skull in my graveyard. So this Confiscation was probably a good idea. So I just discarded Monster Reborn. Sorry about that. So yeah, now I have Delinquent Duo, but I'm really low on life points, and if he has a Just Desserts, I might lose the duel here right now. So I'm just going to probably not activate Delinquent Duo, because I'm really low on life points, and I'm just praying that he doesn't have Raigeki. So we're just setting in a passing turn. He activates Painful Choice. So this is the card that I'm worried about, and Chain Energy is a card that I don't want to deal with. Giant Germ it's going to burn me for 500, so I also don't want that. I'm just going to give him Swords, because it's a card that's going to destroy itself. So in the end, he's going to go -1 for activating swords. So that's fine by me. So yeah, he activates swords. He flips my monsters, and there's nothing out of the ordinary. And just keep setting cards. And he's still not attacking me because he's going to lose life points if he does so. So he has to wait for the right moment. So yeah, we're just here setting cards. Let's see what happens. So I draw into Magician of Faith, and that's going to be good because I have a Raigeki on my graveyard. So I want that to resolve. So I just set it. Swords should die. Yeah, okay. So he sets a monster. But I draw into Monster Reborn. So that's going to be really good because now I flip summon Magician of Faith, activate Raigeki, let him search. I don't care. I don't care what he searches. Because now I'm going to use Monster Reborn, bring back Summon Skull, and now I'm just going to attack with these two. So if I would have activated Delinquent Duo, I couldn't have done this play. So thankfully I saved my life points. So I'm just going to attack and see if that's game for him. So yeah, I keep paying life points. And it's game. That's perfect. I was really lucky that I was able to draw my Magician of Faith before he did, because if he activated his Magician of Faith, I would have been really screwed. So that was lucky, and the other lucky part was me top decking into Monster Reborn, so I could bring back Summon Skull. So yeah, now off to game 3, and as you can see, the monsters that we use are a mix of cards from Critter, Yugi Kaiba, and also Magic Ruler. So yeah. So right now he goes first, and let's see what he does. So he's playing more cards because he has Giant Germ and other floaters, but that's going to hurt his chances to open with the hand destruction spells. So that's the downside of playing more than 40 cards. But I guess it makes sense, because if he plays deck out or stall or something, then it does make sense. So I was able to top deck into Pot of Greed, and I have 2 Magician of Faith. And that's going to be really big because I can keep recycling my Pot of Greed unless he has a Change of Heart. That's going to be really annoying. So yeah, he summons Witch. That means he doesn't have a Change of Heart. And then I get my second Pot of Greed. So yeah, let's see what I draw. Monster Reborn. So now I have 4 of the original 5 power spells. So I activate Pot of Greed. I draw into Painful Choice and Delinquent Duo, 2 broken cards. I use Painful Choice. And now you're going to see my side deck, because now that I know that he plays into a stall build, I do play into an anti-stall package by playing Soul Exchange and then big monsters, because if I have a weak monster and he doesn't attack me, my field is clogged. So tributing into bigger monsters is probably good. But Painful Choice lets me send these to the graveyard because right now I don't need these. So yeah, he's probably going to pick Judgment. That's the most obvious choice. So yeah, he picks Judgment. I still have a really busted hand. I used Dark Hole. He had two floaters, so that's probably good for him because Dark Hole is almost wasted. But I still have Delinquent Duel. And worst case scenario, remember I still have another Magician of Faith. So let's see what I discard. The Cyber Jar. Okay, so no Cyber Jar for him to recover. And interesting because he plays Mask of Darkness, so that's very interesting. But yeah, I summon Tomato and then it eats a Trap Hole, so that's fine. I still have my own Trap Hole. But now I use Monster Reborn, and now I revive my Summon Skull, and that's going to hurt him. That's going to be a big damage and a big board presence. So if he doesn't out this, he's not going to get it over by attacking. So he has to draw an out soon. So he has a Fissure. So Summon Skull isn't going to do anything. And now I get a Confiscation. So yeah, he's going to pick Raigeki, sadly. I think he should have picked Magician of Faith, to be honest, because Magician of Faith can bring me Raigeki or any of these broken spells. But whatever. He summons Tomato, I use Trap Hole, and at this point I'm ahead in card advantage, and I'm going to be dealing with a lot of life points. And he has Toll, which in any other scenario would have been great, but right now I have a lot of life points and he has no board presence. So I use Forceful Sentry. I bounce back the Magician of Faith, which was probably going to get him Fissure or Confiscation, so it wasn't going to be that great, but still it's good to just bounce it. And I could have said Magician of Faith, but I go with Mechanical Chaser because I see this opportunity to lower his life points, and I know that if he draws better cards to stop me, then I'm going to regret not dealing with these free 1850 life points. So sadly he activates Chain Energy, so he couldn't draw into a better card to stop me. So, and I top deck into Heavy Storm, so that's going to be really hurtful because right now there's nothing he can do. So he has to top deck into Raigeki or Dark Hole, or he's going to lose, because Magician of Faith is going to bring me Raigeki or anything really, but mostly Raigeki. So he activates Monster Reborn. He probably thinks that he's winning the game right now. Well, actually not, because he saw my Magician of Faith. He knows what's coming, but yeah, I lose my Mechanical Chaser, but I don't care because I'm just going to use Magician of Faith, Raigeki, and then I summon Judgment, and that's going to be game. So yeah guys, that's it. Remember that we always post the deck list at the end, so keep watching the video until the deck list come up. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next format.